The ornate mahogany door, a stark contrast to the modest life he knew, felt heavy under Daniel's hesitant knock. He clutched the small bouquet of wildflowers, his heart pounding a rhythm against his ribs that echoed the hopeful tremor in his hands. This was it, the moment he would formally ask for Amelia's hand, despite their prior understanding. He took a deep breath, picturing Amelia's radiant smile, the one that had captivated him from the moment their eyes met across the pews of their church. The door swung open, not to Amelia's warm embrace, but to Mr. Harrington's cold, scrutinizing gaze. Behind him, Mrs. Harrington stood with arms crossed, her lips a thin, disapproving line. Amelia's two older brothers, burly and sneering, flanked their parents, making the spacious foyer feel suddenly claustrophobic. "Well, well, if it isn't the little houseboy," sneered Thomas, the elder brother, stepping forward. "Come to beg for scraps again?" Daniel's jaw tightened, but he held his ground. "Good evening, Mr. and Mrs. Harrington. Thomas, David, I've come to speak with you about Amelia." "Speak about Amelia?" Mrs. Harrington scoffed, her voice dripping with disdain. "What could a boy like you possibly have to say about our daughter? A boy with no family, no prospects, fresh out of some charity home and now scrubbing floors for a living." "I'm a law graduate, madam," Daniel stated, his voice steady despite the tremor in his hands. "And I love Amelia with all my heart. I intend to marry her." Laughter erupted from the brothers, harsh and derisive. Mr. Harrington stepped forward, his eyes burning with a chilling contempt. "You actually believe that, don't you? You, a black man, an orphan, a servant, think you're worthy of our Amelia? My daughter deserves a man of substance, of standing, not a charity case like you." He spat the last words like venom. Thomas lunged forward, grabbing Daniel's arm and twisting it behind his back, forcing him to his knees. The wildflowers scattered across the polished marble floor like discarded dreams. "Get out of here, you pathetic excuse for a man. Don't ever show your face here again." Amelia's frantic cry pierced the air as she rushed from deeper within the house, her eyes wide with horror. "Stop it! Leave him alone!" But her words were drowned out by David, who kicked Daniel's side, a sickening thud echoing in the grand hall. Pain shot through Daniel, but it was nothing compared to the crushing weight of their contempt, the raw, unfiltered prejudice that stained the air. This was the immediate challenge, a painful testament to the formidable walls erected by societal expectations and deeply ingrained bias. Daniel, a young black man, stood as the central character, a beacon of resilience against an ocean of adversity. He was the underdog, the orphan raised within the sterile, echoing walls of St. Michael's home, never knowing the touch of a mother or the guidance of a father. He had poured every ounce of his being into his studies, fueled by an unyielding desire to prove his worth, to build a life despite his humble beginnings. The law degree, proudly framed in his small room at the orphanage, was a testament to his intellect and unwavering dedication. Yet, here he was, a university graduate, reduced to a houseboy, in the sprawling, desolate mansion of Mr. Alistair Finch, a reclusive billionaire known for his volatile temper and impenetrable sadness. This was the immediate conflict. Daniel's love for Amelia, a love pure and reciprocated, pitted against the harsh realities of class and racial prejudice. The deeper theme, hinted at in the chilling encounter, was one of prejudice, the unexpected twists of fortune, and ultimately, the profound power of empathy and justice. The emotional tone was a tumultuous mix of heartbreak, simmering anger, and a flicker of unwavering hope. As Daniel stood, bruised but unbowed, the scene solidified his resolve. This was not merely about personal humiliation. It was a microcosm of the battles fought by so many against ingrained injustice. If you're moved by stories of resilience, of hearts tested and spirits unbroken, and if you believe in the power of humanity to overcome overwhelming odds, then subscribe to Engaging Voices, because this is just the beginning of Daniel's journey, and we have many more profound narratives waiting to unfold. The Finch mansion was a mausoleum of memories, each room echoing with the silent grief of its owner. Mr. Finch, a man whose face was a roadmap of sorrow, lived shrouded in a permanent twilight of despair. His wife and daughter, taken from him in a horrific car crash years ago, had also claimed his capacity for kindness. He was a tyrant, a man who found perverse pleasure in demeaning those around him, especially Daniel. From the moment Daniel had stepped through the grand gates, a desperate plea for employment to tide him over until a proper legal position materialized, Mr. Finch had made his life a living hell. Daily insults, impossible demands, and a complete disregard for Daniel's dignity were the norm. Yet Daniel endured, his spirit unbroken, fueled by the memory of Amelia's smile, and the silent promise he'd made to himself to rise above his circumstances. Even after the humiliating incident at the Harringtons, Daniel found solace only in his work, and in the stolen moments he shared with Amelia, often meeting in secret at a quiet park or after church. Their love, forged in the crucible of adversity, only deepened. Amelia, despite her parents' relentless pressure, remained fiercely loyal. She saw beyond Daniel's current circumstances, recognizing the brilliant mind and compassionate heart that beat beneath his humble exterior. She knew his story, his resilience and his dreams, and she believed in him with an unwavering faith. One rainy afternoon, as Daniel was meticulously polishing an antique desk in Mr. Finch's study, he stumbled upon a hidden drawer. Inside, nestled amongst old documents, was a faded photograph. It showed a younger, smiling Mr. Finch, his arm around a beautiful woman, and a small girl clutching a teddy bear. On the back, an inscription in elegant script read, "My heart, my soul, my everything, July 12, 2005. Below it, a newspaper clipping detailed the horrific car accident that had claimed their lives on that very date. A wave of profound sadness washed over Daniel. This wasn't just a rich, cruel man. This was a man broken by an unbearable loss. The pieces began to fall into place. The bitterness, the isolation, the complete abandonment of any semblance of joy. It was a revelation, a sudden understanding that shifted Daniel's perspective from mere endurance to a burgeoning empathy. Daniel, armed with this newfound understanding, began to observe Mr. Finch with a different eye. He noticed the tremor in his hands when he picked up a newspaper, the way his gaze often drifted to a specific empty chair in the dining room. He saw the flicker of pain in his eyes when a child's laughter drifted in from the street. Over the next few weeks, Daniel subtly began to alter his approach. Instead of simply performing his duties, he started to engage Mr. Finch, cautiously at first. He'd leave a fresh cup of tea on his desk without being asked, or share a quiet observation about the garden, knowing Mr. Finch had once been an avid gardener. He started to research the car crash, delving into old police reports and news archives, piecing together the events that had shattered Mr. Finch's life. He learned about the driver of the other vehicle, a young man who had been under the influence, and the subsequent legal battle that had left Mr. Finch emotionally and financially drained, despite winning. One evening, as Mr. Finch sat staring blankly into the unlit fireplace, Daniel approached him. "Mr. Finch," he began, his voice soft, I understand." The old man flinched, his eyes narrowing in suspicion. "Understand what, boy? That you're a mere servant and I am your master?" "No, sir," Daniel replied, meeting his gaze without fear. "I understand your sorrow. I know about your family, about the accident." A vein throbbed in Mr. Finch's temple. "How dare you pry into my affairs?" he roared, his voice trembling with a mixture of rage and raw grief. "Because I care," Daniel said simply. "Because I see a man in pain, and I believe that even in the deepest darkness there can be light." He then shared his own story, not as a plea for sympathy, but as a bridge. He spoke of the orphanage, of never knowing his parents, of the constant yearning for a family, for a sense of belonging. He spoke of his struggles, his resilience, and his unwavering belief in the human spirit. For the first time in years, Mr. Finch truly looked at Daniel. He saw not a servant, not a black man, but a fellow human being, who understood loss, who had faced hardship, and emerged with his humanity intact. He saw a mirror of his own younger self, perhaps, a man who, despite his circumstances, refused to be broken. Slowly, painstakingly, a fragile bond began to form. Daniel, using his legal knowledge and innate compassion, started to help Mr. Finch confront the lingering legal issues from the accident, the ones that still festered like open wounds. He helped him organize old photographs, talk about his wife and daughter, not as ghosts, but as beloved memories. He encouraged him to visit their graves, to finally mourn. The transformation was gradual, but profound. The mansion, once a tomb, began to hum with a quiet energy. Mr. Finch started to eat regular meals, to venture out into the garden, to even crack a rare, melancholic smile. He listened to Daniel, truly listened, offering advice born of his vast experience, even if gruffly delivered. He started to see himself in Daniel, the resilience, the intelligence, the unwavering moral compass. He saw the son he had lost, reborn in the spirit of this remarkable young man. Word of Mr. Finch's transformation and Daniel's role in it slowly filtered through the city's elite circles, eventually reaching the Harringtons. Amelia's parents, though still outwardly disdainful, began to soften their stance slightly, confused by the rumors of Mr. Finch's newfound composure. One crisp autumn morning, Mr. Finch summoned Daniel to his study. The old man looked different, lighter, his eyes holding a glimmer of peace Daniel had never seen before. "Daniel," he began, his voice surprisingly gentle, "you have given me something I thought was lost forever. You have given me back my life." He then revealed a secret that stunned Daniel to his core. For years, Mr. Finch had been suffering from a debilitating illness, one he had kept hidden, believing he had nothing left to live for. But Daniel's presence, his kindness, his unwavering spirit had given him a reason to fight. He then handed Daniel a sealed envelope. "This is for you, my last will and testament. I want you to open it only after I'm gone." A few months later, Mr. Finch passed away peacefully in his sleep, a faint smile on his lips. The funeral was a quiet affair, attended only by Daniel, Amelia, and a few of Mr. Finch's long-standing, bewildered staff. As per Mr. Finch's instructions, Daniel opened the envelope in the presence of Mr. Finch's lawyer. The contents sent a shockwave through the room. Mr. Alistair Finch, the billionaire recluse, had secretly bequeathed his entire vast fortune, his sprawling mansion, his businesses, everything, to Daniel. The will explicitly stated that Daniel, the young man who had restored his faith in humanity, was to be his sole heir. The news ripped through the city like wildfire. The Harringtons were aghast, their carefully constructed world of prejudice crumbling around them. Amelia's parents, now faced with the undeniable reality of Daniel's immense wealth and influence, suddenly found their disdain replaced by a desperate scramble for reconciliation. But Daniel, though now a man of immense means, remained true to himself. He stood by Amelia, proposing to her again, this time with a magnificent diamond ring, but more importantly, with the full backing of his newfound legacy. The wedding was a grand affair, a testament to enduring love and the triumph of the human spirit over adversity. Mr. and Mrs. Harrington, humbled and somewhat bewildered, finally gave their blessing. Their earlier cruelty, a stark reminder of the prejudice Daniel had overcome. As Daniel stood at the altar, looking at Amelia, radiant in her white gown, he felt a profound sense of gratitude. He had found not only love, but also a family, a legacy, and a purpose he could never have imagined. He had transformed a broken man, and, in doing so, had transformed his own destiny. The orphan, the houseboy, the black man ridiculed for his poverty, had not only inherited a fortune, but had also forged a family, a testament to the unexpected turns of life, the power of compassion, and the enduring strength of the human heart. The story of Daniel, of his quiet strength in the face of prejudice, of his unwavering empathy that transformed a broken soul, is a testament to the profound power of human connection. It reminds us that true wealth lies not in material possessions, but in the richness of our character and the compassion we extend to others. It teaches us that even from the humblest beginnings, extraordinary lives can bloom, and that hope can pierce through the deepest despair. If Daniel's journey resonated with you, if it stirred something within your own spirit, then we invite you to become a part of our growing community. Subscribe to Engaging Voices to ensure you never miss another story that inspires, challenges, and moves you. Hit the like button to show your support, and share this narrative with others who need to hear a message of hope and resilience. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, so you're always the first to discover the beautiful stories we bring to life. Together, let's celebrate the incredible tapestry of human experience.